Guys, 7:30 is game time tonight for the Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, the rematch of the two best teams in basketball. But a major injury will impact how OKC is going to have to defend Cleveland. Isaiah Hartenstein suffered a calf tweak in his last game against Philadelphia on, was it Sunday they played? On Sunday, correct. No, Tuesday. On Tuesday when they played Philadelphia. Right. He's out for at least a week. He'll be reevaluated, so he will not be in the lineup tonight. Already officially ruled out. Before we dive into the Donovan Mitchell side of this, initial thoughts on Isaiah Hartenstein being out for the Thunder on top of Chet Holmgren to make their already thin front line even thinner.
Well, you said it right there, guys. Yeah. I mean, he's not their best player, but he's one of their good players.
He's effective.
And the Cavs already, we saw last week, had a big advantage up front because we had two big guys and they only had Hartenstein, who's good and tough. And he played great against the Cavs in the playoffs 2 years ago with the Knicks. So, this game doesn't have the exact same feel. Obviously, even without him, Oklahoma City, even without him and Holmgren, Oklahoma City's still one of the best teams in the league. Yeah. And you're playing at their court, and they've been playing outside of the Cavs game. They've been playing great. I can't even say they didn't play great that game. I mean, it wasn't like we blew them out or anything. No. So they've been playing great. They've beaten the Knicks twice. They've beaten the Celtics. They
didn't just beat the Knicks, by the way.
Yeah, they smoked them the second game.
Off of them.
Yeah, they destroyed them.
Trust me, I know I was on the Knicks.
But you look at this, the game he had, 18-11. I mean, the guy almost had a triple-double against the Cavs. Now, both of the Cavs big guys also came close to a triple-double, too. But there's no doubt this is a big deal. And Oklahoma City, which is also already undersized, they're going to have to play this game completely differently because they have no answers right now for Allen or Mobley.
Well, go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, without Hartenstein in there, I mean, they would have to essentially play that small ball. Who is their backup center anyways?
It's the other Jalen Williams. They have two Jalen Williams. This is the other Jalen Williams.
And he played a little in that game, but not a lot, right? How many minutes did he play?
He's their third big if everyone's healthy. He gets moved to the second big, but he's...
Well, how many minutes did he play against the Cavs the other day? I'm going to say 10 or less.
In the first matchup, 11, so just over.
So right around there.
So I think without Hartenstein in there, you lose that inside presence because that 18-11 and the 8 assists was big for them. Not having that in there, you're going to have to make up for it offensively somehow, and that's going to probably be what everybody's doing in the NBA. You got to be having some shooters out there. Maybe if you got 5 guys out there and Allen has to check one of those smaller guys, maybe he gets nervous a little bit and maybe you can take advantage of that mismatch there. Outside of that, defensively, I don't know what they're going to do. They might have to run 2-3 zone or something like that and pray that the Cavs, just have an off night at the 3-point line. That's because without those two, without Hartenstein in there, you're letting Jared and Evan pretty much do what they want to do inside the paint. Because Jalen Williams is good, but he ain't stopping them two. And Hartenstein couldn't even stop them two.
Yeah, I mean, listen, one thing I'm excited about for this matchup specifically, knowing what we know now about the first matchup, Donovan Mitchell was like 3 for 13 that game at 11 points. He was not himself. He was in the slump, right? So he bounces out of the slump in this last game, had 35 points. I think he had 20 in the first half.
He wasn't in the slump. He was in the torture chamber.
Even better. The doldrums.
Well, but to Dustin's point, he played poorly against Atlanta, too, in the first game with Atlanta.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing him with some confidence going to this game, and then without Hartenstein, some opportunities certainly for all guys to eat. But he was great against the Pacers. I would know because I had him for 40-plus combined points, rebounds, assists.
Boom.
And that went over. So we're very happy about that in the Fox household. And we're going to be very happy about that in the Fox household tonight. We'll be able to eat dinner, hopefully, if the Cavs win.
You taking him on the over on the PAR?
No, we're going to take the Cavaliers tonight, though.
There you go. And they're getting a point.
They're 1.5-point underdogs tonight now.
Yeah, I just saw 2 at Bet Rivers. So
I saw 1.5, 2. It, I guess depends on
so
money.
What was the spread?
It was 3.5 before the Hartenstein officially ruled out news came out.
Okay, so he's worth a 1.5, 2 points?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm expecting the Cavs to win. Maybe I'm getting too cocky about it.
I am too.
What's the Thunder record at home? Ain't they like really good?
Yeah, so here's real quick. These are just 2 stats I thought was interesting. The Cavs have won 6 straight road games by double digits. Their average margin of victory in those 6 straight road games, 15.8 points. Damn. They had the NBA's best 14-3 record on the road this season. The Thunder haven't lost a home game since November 17th.
So they only lost once.
Right.
They've lost more, but they've won 9 straight at home.
Yeah. Mikey, let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
So the Cavaliers have the number 1 rated offense in the league, right?
And the Thunder have the number 1 defense.
They do. But the question I have for you is how would you assess that matchup tonight without Hartenstein? because they're obviously not going to be the number one defense without him.
So I think they're going to have to collapse their defense even more than they typically do, which kind of plays into something we were going to get to in a sec. But you want to just play it now, Bull?
Yeah. I was just
Sorry,
going
I
to say.
didn't mean to produce
No,
yours.
No.
That's fine.
It's
It just
a
worked
great
out
segue.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Mike put together a package.
Well, here, let me ask a question, and then
Go ahead.
we'll play the package in a second.
Yeah.
Dustin,
All right.
you mentioned Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
His issues with Lou Dort in the past. It's all kind of included in this, but he went 3 of 16 in the first matchup. Before I show you how I think Donovan can attack the Thunder this time around, Tyvis, Bull, what do you guys expect from Donovan Mitchell in this rematch?
Well, I think that due to the fact that they seen how he was played, how Lou Dort played him in the first game, I think they'll come up with some different ways to allow him to be effective. I think Donovan had a bad shooting night. Without Hartenstein, though, if I'm Donovan, I'm working the inside. I feel like he can get to the paint. I mean, when he got his first bucket, he went to the lane and dunked. That was the way he got started. Right. So for him, if Hartenstein ain't in there, you ain't got a guy that can really affect you or change your shot, I would go to the lane early. And then if I want the shot, then maybe get some of them screen actions from Jared and Evan, on Lou Dort and get you open for a second because you love that step back. You think about if you do a screen and you step back off the screen as he's running into it, then that should give you enough space that you need to be able to pull up on a three. And I think that's how he could be effective inside and outside. But if I'm Donovan, I'm opening the game up, being aggressive, going to the lane.
I don't think Donovan's going to, even though he bounced back last game, I don't think he's going to have a huge scoring game tonight.
I don't either.
Because I think, like we've been talking about, this game is going to be all about the big guys. I think they're going to be feeding Mobley and Allen a lot in this game because those guys are going to have a relatively easy chance to score. Because I know, is it Jalen Williams that defends the big guys well?
Yeah, Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams, the first Jalen Williams. So they got to put in a middle initial with these guys. You can't have two Jalen. If you're gonna have two Jalen Williams on the same team,
are they spelled the same too?
Exactly, right?
No, they're not.
Oh,
the smaller Jalen Williams, the better Jalen Williams is Jalen. The bigger, not as good Jalen Williams, Jaylin.
I know
they were
that,
both
but
in the same draft class, though. They took two Jalen Williams in the same
but
draft.
when we're talking about them,
let's call him Jalen E. Williams.
Well, they call the better Jalen Williams the wing.
Yeah.
J-Dub. They call him J-Dub.
I can't call him J-Dub. We got a dopey J-Dub already here.
That's what I thought.
He's a dope. I don't want to. That's an insulting nickname.
I didn't say a word about anybody.
You didn't say it, but I'm saying it. But
I certainly didn't say it.
I didn't say it.
The son-in-law wanted me to go on a. Forget it. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. Anyway, Mike, I do not, like I said, I expect Donovan and Darius to have a ton of assists and a lot of feeding into the post. And a lot of okay, well, let's penetrate and kick, but let's also get it to Mobley at the elbow, and then he's passing down to Allen in the paint. I think we're going to see a lot of that. So I'm not expecting a huge offensive game from Donovan, not because I think he's going to shoot poorly necessarily, just because I think they're going to want to keep Lou Dort away from the paint and let the two guys eat tonight. Big
and
guys.
with that, let's toss it to myself upstairs from before we knew Hartenstein was out.
See if we change our mind.
Yeah, see if we change our mind. This was
Mike's
taped on Tuesday, but this is kind of some film breakdown on how I think Donovan can break OKC's defense tonight. The Cavs put up 129 points last week against Oklahoma City, despite the fact that Donovan Mitchell had his worst shooting performance of the season. The Thunder held him to just 3 of 16 from the floor, and despite that, the Cavs still put up nearly 130 points on the number 1 ranked defense in all of basketball. Oklahoma City did some really good things to get the ball out of his hands, but you also have to give credit to Lou Dort. When you look at some of these numbers over the last couple of seasons, no player has guarded Mitchell better than that guy right there. Per NBA.com's tracking data, Donovan Mitchell is just 23 of 80 from the floor. That's 28.8% with Lou Dort as his primary defender. For his career, Donovan's shooting nearly 45%. But it wasn't just Lou Dort. Oklahoma City did a lot of things creatively to kind of force Donovan to some tough shots, and we're going to show you those here right now. Take a look at this first play. When Donovan starts to drive, Oklahoma City has 4 guys in help position. The Cavs spacing here is terrible. And when Donovan gets into the paint, all 5 OKC defenders have a foot in the paint. Darius is his only outlet. Going over 1 outstretched arm, tough. 2, even more difficult. 5, that's not a great shot selection from Donovan Mitchell. Later in the game, Donovan, similar situation, attempting to attack, you can see much better spacing from the Cavs, but all 5 OKC defenders, they have their eyes locked in on Donovan. As he drives here, he tries to split the defense. He is 6'6", SGA corralling him. There's Isaiah Hartenstein ready to step over and help. Lou Dort's cutting off both his primary options. Donovan takes the floater. It's not a bad shot, but it's not a great shot either, and it's kind of indicative of what we've seen from Donovan this year. When you look at some of the advanced statistics, he's only getting to the rim at a 23% rate this season. That's 4 percentage points lower than the attempt of his shots at the rim last season and just 1 point higher than his career low of 22%. And when he is getting to the rim, he's not finishing with the same efficiency. His field goal percentage at the rim, according to Cleaning the Glass, just 58% this year, down 9 points from last year and just 1 point higher than his career low as well. So how can Donovan be more effective and efficient as an offensive threat against OKC in Thursday's rematch? Well, when he gets to the rim like he does here, he's got to make the right decision. You can see Jalen Williams leave Isaac Okoro in the corner. He's coming up to help. That means Lou Dort is now responsible for Isaac in the corner. Donovan sees him and has a decision to make. Do I go up with the shot? Do I kick to Isaac in the corner? He decides to go up. It's the wrong decision, but later in the game, Donovan is going to make it right. Let's take a look at this last play here where Donovan learned from his mistakes. As he drives, there's SGA on his hip. There's Kenrich Williams ready for help. The 2 corner defenders, they're sagging off to delay the shot, but Aaron Wiggins has to help down on Evan Mobley, so it's not an easy dump-off dunk. Donovan then finds Karis LeVert in the corner. He buries the triple. That's what we're going to have to see on Thursday night continue, because look at the numbers. Oklahoma City gives up more corner threes this season than any team in basketball. They're the only team in the NBA allowing 11 or more threes from the corner each game, and that plays right into the Cavs' hands, because if you look at the Cavs' efficiency from the corner, 10.9 three-point attempts per game. That's tied for the 4th most. 4.6 makes from the corners. That's the 2nd most, and they shoot 42.4% from the corners. That's the 4th best mark in basketball. So Donovan, continue to get into the paint, draw the defense, and find your open shooters in the corners. That's a recipe for success if the Cavs are going to knock off Oklahoma City for the 2nd time in 8 days.
Great breakdown by Mikey McNuggets.
Dude,
he does that
if
so well.
Steve Kornacki and Tim Legler had a baby, it'd be that guy. Because he's better than both of them at running the screen. That was
Kornacki
awesome.
is such a nerd.
Oh, yeah. But that was great, Mikey. Really well done.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It is. And it was interesting the way you showed the way Oklahoma, that one play where even when the Cavs had good spacing, how Oklahoma City had all 5 guys keeping an eye on Donovan.
Yeah.
And if they do that, I mean, that's why he shouldn't have. And you could say, well, every team can do that, and then Donovan will never score. But every team doesn't have the defensive talent that Oklahoma City does. And against this team, he's got to be more of a facilitator, because it's going to be hard for him to score.
Well, I think that the way he should go about it is he should understand that in Donovan's mind, you got to think about how OKC is going to look at it. Hartenstein is out, so we soften the paint. So we're gonna be extra aggressive on your drive, because you do well, not this season as Mikey pointed out, but typically you do well at finishing around the rim.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then everybody's gonna collapse. So early on in that game, I think in that first half, he has to be more of a facilitator, drive and kick type of guy. And then once they see, okay, he's not really going up like that, it's gonna make me as a defender have to stay home, because I don't want to give up the 3.
Yeah.
And once they do that, now the lane is open for him to finish at the rim, because they won't be so aggressive on him. So it's one of those things that it's a cat and mouse thing. You come out in the beginning of the game and show like, hey, I'm looking to facilitate. I'm getting to the lane and I'm just looking to drive and kick. Second half, you make the adjustments to where it's like, all right, you don't see nobody there and it's just you one-on-one and everybody's playing their guy honest. Now you can finish at the rim.
I just love that Donovan Mitchell can be a chameleon. Like he doesn't matter what the game is. Like the guy can go out there on any given night and decide, okay, well, this is what they're giving me. Like he'll take what the defense gives them.
Yeah.
As long as the team wins and has success. Like that's what I love about this guy's attitude and leadership qualities. Is like he can score 13 points. We can still win the game against the best team in the league.
Yeah.
He can score 35. We can still beat the best team. Like it just doesn't matter on any given night. And so like we don't need him to have 35 points.
No.
Last year we did.
Oh yeah, they weren't beating any good teams with him out.
No, if Donovan had a 3 for 13 night, we'd lose by 20.
Especially against a team that good. Correct. Yeah, they would have gotten absolutely smoked. And he's so unselfish.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Makes
I
him
say all
so
this
special.
to say,
yeah.
Darius is going for 40 tonight. This is going to solidify his all-star.
40?
His all-star vote.
He
got if you want to be an all-star, you go for 40 against the number one defense.
But you know what's so great
what
about
they gonna say?
You know what's so great about this team so far this season, and I assume it will continue, is that's the type of guys they have.
Yeah.
I don't feel like anybody's playing to become an all-star.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
but-
they all.
It happens. It happens.
Right. They're all playing great, and that's why they're going to be all-stars.
Kenny-
Not because they're being selfish and I got to get mine.
Well,
there seems to be none of that on this team.
To me, honestly, I feel like Kenny's done a great job of teaching selflessness. Like, you don't have to go out there and feel like you got to force shots. Just keep playing in this offense, and
Yeah.
the ball, you're going to get your shots.
Yeah.
Like, I think we talked about it earlier in the year where, was it Jared Allen or somebody? It was somebody that was like, last year we go like 6 or 7 possessions and I wouldn't even touch the ball and I kind of lose interest. This year, like, I got to stay locked in because the
every
ball is
time.
always swinging around.
That's right. They move the ball so well. Mike, I'm curious. You know that the one play I just referenced before where the Cavs had the good spacing. You know what play I'm talking about? That you
Yeah,
had in your
I got to
piece?
drag it in so we don't have to go through the whole package, but keep talking. I'll drag it in. Yeah.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
No, I'll drag it in.
Okay.
Hold on one sec. Yeah,
I'm
but you keep
curious
talking.
about that play when Donovan, is at the top of the three-point line, and the guys are spread out, and on that play, if I remember correctly, I think Donovan misses, and nobody cut to the basket. Is nobody cutting to the basket in that situation? Because that's the play that's been called, and they know Donovan's taking it to the basket.
5 out.
We're going to pull it back up just to make sure we're talking about the same play because I
Okay.
don't want to misspeak on it.
All right.
Ant's going to pull it in. Just give us literally 1 second to
All right.
drag down.
No, they don't. They probably don't cut because
Boy, you mean this play? Sorry to
Yeah,
cut
let
you
me
off.
see it.
Ant, just
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it and
go
play
ahead.
this one. You mean?
All right, yes, this
Good
play.
spacing, all 5 watching.
Okay, so can we see this play and then play it again after? Okay, so Donovan's going to the basket, right? And nobody is cutting to the basket. Or is Jared Allen cutting late there?
He's a late cut.
Yeah, he's not cutting hard, though.
Also, the shot clock's at 6 here.
Okay,
They've already run to something. OKC
all right.
stopped it, and they
So
brought it
in
back
that
out.
situation, it was just a coincidence that nobody cut. It wasn't like, or they know, 6 seconds left, let's keep the lane open because
Yeah,
Donovan's
I think that's
got
more
to
of the
drive to the
I
basket.
think that's more the situation.
Because I would think we'd see a lot tonight of Donovan driving to the foul line and kicking to Allen and Mobley when the defense collapses on him and kicking to, obviously Mobley or Allen have to, cut hard to the basket in that situation. But what chance does Oklahoma City have if you've got Mobley or Allen streaking to the basket when they just got too much size on the rest of their players? And even if Jalen Williams does a great job against one of them, what are they doing defensively? Who's guarding the other big guy?
So they have to junk it up tonight because
Yeah.
they do not have another true traditional big.
Right, because
that
the
you
other
feel comfortable
Jalen Williams, he's not going to play that much, right?
He'll probably play 25 minutes, but even him, he's 6'8".
Yeah,
He's an
right.
undersized. He's not a traditional he's a 3-and-D big. He shoots.
Yeah.
Not a post player. He's a big
You
guy.
think they'll go get another big guy at the trade deadline?
I think they'll sign
a
a guy.
backup?
Yeah, I think they'll end up signing a buyout guy. They have cap space to work with, but.
Yeah.
you said they're gonna sign who?
Serge Ibaka?
No, some guy.
I thought
some
he
guy.
said
No,
Serge
just-
Ibaka
Oh,
too. I was
some
gonna say,
sort
he
of buyout
coming
guy.
back?
Some guy. No, not Serge Ibaka.
He retired?
But in the first matchup, and you
Yeah.
just take this video full, the big to big passing killed Oklahoma City, and they decided to get the ball out of Donovan and Darius's hands and make Evan and Jared
Right.
beat
Right there,
them.
man.
And all night long, Jared and Evan beat them. We gave you all the stat. It was the first time since '98 that 2 bigs in the same game had 20, 10, and 6 or more assists since David Robinson and Tim Duncan in the '98 season. Tonight, with Hartenstein out, I think they have to completely flip their script and
100%.
say, Donovan, Darius, we're going to live one-on-one against Lou Dort with Donovan
Yeah.
and Case and Wallace or whoever on Darius, and we're doubling the bigs as soon as they get the ball.
Oh, you're saying Oklahoma City's going to have to play a different. Yeah, you're right.
Because they can't
No,
do
they
anything
can't.
else. Like if they try and even with Hartenstein, they tried to let
Yeah.
the 2 bigs beat them, and they did. Now you take out Hartenstein and you're dealing
Right.
with smaller, worse. You have to
Yeah.
send extra help to the post.
I do think it's interesting that we've seen in the last couple of games, we've seen Hartenstein and Miles Turner, right? That's the Pacers' big guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Good player.
We've seen Evan Mobley. I know those guys. I get it. They're not superstars, either of those guys. But those guys are both big, tough guys. Yeah. And Evan Mobley has played with authority big time against both of those guys of late. And I feel like in the past, I get they're not Joel Embiid or Jokic, but I feel like in the past, even against guys like that, Mobley would be a little gun shy. trying to be too physical, and he was not against either of those guys.
I'm just telling you, this guy this year is it's like a different player.
Yeah.
Different. Like his mindset, the way that he goes about, his business on the court.
Yeah.
It's awesome because I never felt confidence from him when I watched the Cavs, certainly last year with him. Always talented, but never played with like when he puts the ball on the deck, he's confident now to do that. Like he doesn't like the other night. I think it was late in that game. I think Siakam was on him, and he was just like point guard.
Yeah.
And had absolutely no problem doing that.
No,
and I loved it.
In that game, before you go, Thomas, real quick, in that game, Doris Burke asked Richard Jefferson. I don't remember the exact way she put it, but it was basically like, what percentage of his offense, of his total capabilities, is he doing right now? And Richard Jefferson was like, oh, he's only at like 60%. So Richard Jefferson made it seem like as great as he is now, as much as he's improved, there's still a whole lot more to
unlock.
And if that's the case, then he's going to be a superstar.
Well, you think that, what is he, 22, 21, 22?
He's older than you think.
Well, how old is Mobley, Mike?
22?
So you said that as with a question mark at the
I
end.
did,
that
let me just,
that was not a
he may have just turned
confidence
23.
Because
he turned 23. He's 23, excuse
All right,
me.
just
so
turned
he's
23.
23, and he still hasn't really matured into his body yet. So
now, he's gotten bigger.
True.
His shoulders are
But
bigger
I'm
than
sure
last year.
I'm
they
sure
are.
as he gets older, he'll get even bigger.
Oh, yeah. If he gets
And
a
like-
little bigger, a little stronger.
Yeah. My only issue with
Wait
Evan,
till he's like 27.
I only got one issue with Evan Mobley, and maybe this is me. I hate the fact that he has no apparel swag.
Like a shoe game?
No,
Like his own
He
gear?
he ain't got a rubber band, not no wristband, no
Oh,
tape,
yeah,
no
yeah.
sleeve, no nothing. Like that in football, if you did that,
Who's
you're
the guy? Who's
dangerous.
the fullback for the Browns? That
Larry
Evan
Vickers.
Marisic.
Oh, Owen Marisic.
Owen
No,
Marisic.
just
So
nothing.
He's straight raw dogging it, man.
Yeah, that's dangerous. No, if you ever play
yeah,
football
he's a-
and somebody ain't got nothing on, stay away from that guy.
Like you walk
That
out
dude's
there and you
dangerous.
see a receiver like with nothing on in the slot, like a Wes Welker. You're like, well, yeah.
That don't bother you, man.
He's got the tape on the fingers, dude. That's Evan Mobley, basically.
I kind of like. I mean, the
don't got
Cavs are like a bunch of
nothing
Nick
on.
Chubbs out
They're
there.
just a junkyard.
But I think
Yeah.
this is. I would give you someone.
He can wear a rubber band
Someone
at
DM'd me
least.
this on Instagram the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it, but I think this person is right. The Cavs might be the first starting five in the history of the NBA to have all five starters combine 0 tattoos on their arms.
Yeah, they're like a church group. I mean,
they sort of lean into this clean cut.
Yeah.
like
Wait,
we're
wait
a
a
bunch
minute.
of
What's
Right,
that supposed to be?
nerds.
nice
yeah.
guys.
Wait,
you know?
whoa,
Yeah.
because I don't have tattoos. So what are you
Yeah.
trying to say?
Well, I'm tatted up, and I understand what he's saying.
I'm
No,
just saying,
I
like, they're-
don't. What are you saying? What are you saying, McNuggets?
What I'm saying is they're a bunch of Nick Chubbs. They're not in it for the entertainment.
Listen, people
Yeah.
have tattoos like them because you want to showcase something.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
it's artwork, right?
Yeah.
And these guys are just vanilla Diet Coke.
Yeah.
That's the only
Which is-
thing.
I like that.
He's not saying that they're
I don't like
judging
the way,
them.
I don't like the way
I'm
you
not
put
saying.
that.
I'm
He's
not
saying these guys they don't give a shit about expressing
Oh
themselves.
my God, that is a complete compliment to
Yes,
these guys.
that's what I'm saying. It's a
100%.
compliment.
I
And I'm
love
covered
these
with
guys.
tattoos.
And it's not that I think badly of people with tattoos. It's just another example of that they don't care about the drama.
No.
They don't care about the swag. They don't care about any of that stuff. They like playing together. They're probably going home to play Dungeons and Dragons at the end of the night. I mean, yeah, Anthony's excited about that.
They definitely
You
look
know,
like they play Clash of Clans.
They
more
probably
likely-
play video games that don't even curse each other out. I mean,
They're a Clash
You're
of
more
Clans
likely to
group.
see these guys together at an arcade
Yeah.
than at a club at 2 in the morning.
and I like that.
I ain't got no issue with that. That sounds more like me, so I ain't tripping off of that.
I love it too. I love it.
No, it's a
There you
good thing.
go.
But isn't it crazy though? And there's nothing against tattoos. Some
Right.
tattoos,
No, I got no
artwork is
beef with
beautiful.
that.
Like express yourself as much. Earl has some really cool tattoos.
Darius
Dustin, I've
don't
seen your
got no
tattoos. I'm sure they're
tattoos.
sweet.
Dustin's got crazy
Dude,
tattoos.
I
You got to
got
see his
75
tattoos.
hours.
But isn't it
tattoos.
crazy that in today's day and age of the NBA, where it feels like everyone
Yeah,
is
right.
tatted up, the Cavs have a starting lineup with not a single arm
It
tattoo.
is wild.
That is funny.
Just a weird
wild.
coincidence.
Who's got tattoos on the Cavs?
Karras has tattoos. Jalen
Okay.
Tyson has some tattoos.
Yeah.
Doesn't Ty Jerome have a tattoo?
Tristan Thompson, his whole back is
Yeah.
tatted.
He's got the Kardashians picture back there.
No. There's some others. Yeah.